Now, Photoshop really isn't that hard. It's actually quite easy once you get to know how to use it. Now let's review the top section, the menu here. Now, of course, there's the file menu. You can save, you can open, create a new document, and everything. But it also has some extra features as well as other programs, which is not really that common. And here is the edit section. Now this section is not really that used. I really do a lot of code things like Control C. If I'm going to copy, I really don't come here to do it. But but it has some use here, like this transform tool. It's very useful. I use it all the time. But again, I usually do this. But it's helpful just to come here. There's some extra tools that you can do. And you go to image. In the image section, adjustment, you can change the hue, saturation, the color balance, make it black and white. There's photo filters and channel mixers and pretty much all of these. Now to get all of these, so to understand all of these, you should really play around. But to me, the most favorite is the hue, saturation, and curves. Those are my most favorite to use. And let's go down to image size. Just view this real quick. As we go on, we'll get to know how to use this more and more. Now this is just telling you the size of this in pixels. Now usually they don't have inches here. Oh, right here. Now you may be tempted to use inches because you're probably more, used to inches. But when it comes to the web, you really want to use pixels. The more you go through this to web applications, it uses pixels. So you really want to get used to that. You should really drop the inches. And if you want to change it, you can go right here. Put, let's say 960, and you notice the height changes automatically too to keep the size ratio. And if you don't want it, you click constraint properties and it will no longer do that. As you see, these little connections are gone, but we want to leave that on. Okay. Alright. Now where are we? Our layers. Now layers is not really that useful. In fact, I hardly use it. The only thing I really use is these three things, which of course we're going to get later. Right now, we're not. Now selection tools, really, I don't really use it much, and in fact I'm not even gonna go through it. Now filter. Now filters, you can do a lot of stuff in this, especially if you're making graphics. This would be very useful. And noise. Now no, it's not physical noise. Well, of course it's not physical. It's not audio. There's no audio with noise. This is visual noise, which is this. Now you might be wondering, how is this useful? And this is in fact very useful. You can do many things with this, and in fact a lot of game designers who are making games, the graphics have a lot of noise. Of course it's not like this. There's little additions and edits that goes with it. And in fact, let's do something. If you want to make a brushed metal, boom, we have brushed metal right now. And there's some other stuff you can play around with. Just go filter gallery. See, now we got this sort of cement, although it's not really that good, but it's a rough looking cement thing just automatically. You have stained glass. If you have artwork, you can sort of make it look stained glass, textured. Zoom in there. But when making graphics, you're going to do more where you can edit the noise before you really add any of these. Alright, let's cancel this out though. Alright. Now the view is useful, like show grid. Now grid is useful if you're using the pen property, which we're going to go through later. So don't worry about that. Just turn that off. Now snap to, we're not going to go through this all step by step. Right now, I'm just going to show you the ruler. Now make sure you have the ruler checked. Now your ruler probably looks different because it's in inches by default. So go to edit, preferences, and go to units and rulers. and change that to pixels. And if you want to change, this, go ahead. Alright, now Windows has some stuff. Like, you may not have Navigator. I don't think on CS4, I don't think that they put Navigator on by default. So you need to go to here and put on Navigator. Yeah, see right there, Navigator. And if you want, histogram or history, just if you don't know what these are, you just click them and see what they are. If you're making a GIF image, GIF, then you want to turn on animation. And if you don't know what that image is, we're gonna go through that later. Don't worry about it. Help section is actually a lot more advanced than any other program I've ever seen. It's really nice, but I never use help section. Alright, and that is it for the top section.